Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy BDB, and today I have a video I want to talk about. It is going on in the NBA, and here's big talks about which is more valuable, offense or defense. And I see a lot of people's opinions. A lot of people have said defense is more valuable. A lot of people have said offense is more valuable. And I'm going to give my 2 cents. They both go hand in hand, but for different reasons. If you want personal awards for yourself, offense matters. If you want team achievements, defense matters. When you think of the MVP award in the NBA, think of SGA, Jokic, Embiid, Braun, KD, Curry, Kobe. You could even say Shaq, Jordan, all those guys. The reason why they got those MVP awards, as well as the Hardens, the Russell Westbrooks, and the Giannis's, is because what they've done on the offensive side. Yeah, the team record is a booster, but you got to think of what they did on the offensive side. Why was SGA winning the MVP last year? Because he was dropping 30 every game. Why was Jokic winning it? Because he was getting triple-doubles left and right. Why was Braun winning it? Because what he was doing athletically when he was with Miami. Look at Giannis. Look at what he was doing. Look at James Harden when he was getting 60-point triple-doubles. Look at Russell Westbrook when he broke the triple-double record and he won the MVP. That is why players win MVPs, is because what they've done on the offensive side. Defense matters if you want to win championships. Think of guys like Draymond Green, Scottie Pippen, Drew Holiday. Think of those guys. Those guys aren't as offensively gifted as a James Harden, a Russell Westbrook. They're not as gifted, but guess what? But Drew Holiday, Draymond, the Scottie Pippens, they're going to do what the team needs for them to do to win. Versus the Russell Westbrook, James Hardens, no disrespect to them, they're Hall of Fame players, but they do what they want for themselves, for their personal accolades, versus what the team needs for them to win. They're not as scrappy as the Scottie Pippens, Draymonds, and the Drew Holidays. Because here's the thing. People don't understand about offensive guys. When you are primarily the ball handler, that wears you out. That it completely wears you out. When you are the primary ball handler, it will wear you out. Because you have the ball in your hands 24/7. You always got to try to find a way to hook up a teammate for an assist, or you got to always find a way to score. Especially if you're a scoring guard, it is very, very tiresome. There's a reason why when he's playing with the Thunder, there's reasons why there's a lot of moments where he doesn't have the ball in his hands, and there's reasons why in certain points of the game he starts getting that ball a lot more. Because being a scoring guard tires you way more. It tires you. Look at Steph Curry. He is gassed out there. Imagine having to run around the floor 3 or 4 times, then you have to come back and guard the best guard on defense. Imagine. It gets very tiresome. And the best thing I always tell people, if you want personal accolades, you might as well be a great offensive player. Players who win Offensive Player of the Years, players who win MVPs, all this and that, they are offensive guys. Because think about it. Whenever they win the MVP, what is the main thing people bring up? How much points they averaged, what their shooting percentages were, how much rebounds, how much assists they average. They never bring in how much steals they get in. They never bring in how much blocks they average. Now, they bring that for the defensive guys when it comes to defensive players. They don't bring that in for the offensive on the MVP. Not as much. And think about even with Heisman winners in college football, guess who wins them 9 times out of 10? Offensive guys, which are mainly the QBs. The last guy who won the Heisman winner as a defensive player, and a lot of people are going to say Travis Hunter. No, because Travis Hunter was also an offensive player. I'm talking just strictly a defensive guy. Was Charles Woodson in 1997 when he was with Michigan. That was the last defensive guy, just strictly defense, no offensive snaps, to win Heisman. In the NFL, who wins the not Heisman, who wins the NFL MVPs 9 times out of 10? Quarterbacks. It's always the quarterback. But teams who win the Super Bowl usually have what? The best defense in the league. The quarterback will always win the MVP. But the best defensive teams always win that Super Bowl. The best offensive players win the MVP in the NBA. But the best defensive team wins that NBA championship. Look at OKC. They had insane defense with Alex Caruso, SGA. You had Chet guarding down low. You had J-Dub guarding on the perimeter as well. Lou Dort mainly was one of those guys as a great defensive player. When you look at the Boston Celtics, look at the Drew Holidays, the Derek Whites, the Jaylen Browns, Jason Tatum, all 5 of the starters, they could guard from the perimeter down to the low post. Made it very, very hard, especially Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench being able to guard. Al Horford, he could guard down low. When you look at Denver Nuggets, you had Christian Braun guarding on the perimeter. You had they had Bruce Brown at the time who was guarding on the perimeter. They had guys who played defense. They had guys. And then when you look at Golden State, you had Clay guarding the perimeter, Andrew Wiggins guarding perimeter. Then you had Draymond down low. Then you had Kevin Looney as well guarding down low. Most NBA championship teams had insanely defensive guys. And I can go all the way back to when Braun was with the Heat, with D. Wade guarding on the perimeter, Shane Battier guarding on the perimeter. You had Mario Chalmers guarding on the perimeter, Chris Bosh down low, Braun on the perimeter. Many, many, many defensive guys. If you even want to go San Antonio Spurs, you had Kawhi on the perimeter. You had Tony Parker, Tim Duncan on down low in the post. Danny Green was guarding on the perimeter. There was too many guys. Most championship teams have great defenders. Most MVP award winners are great offensive guys. So that's just something to think about. That's my take on it. But make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will have more videos out there for you.